Hey there, Jodi Stewart here from a 98.7 The Gator of the Palm Beaches, a classic rock, with another edition of Gator Bites, where we check in with everything rock and roll, slices of life, and let you know what's going on locally. And we're really excited about today's guest. You may not know his name right now, but you will, because I believe he is a rising star. He is a local, young, talented musician, lives here in Boca Raton. He has a very unique sound, and his brand new song came out today, so we're going to get to hear a little bit of that. Plus, he has a purpose dedicated to helping our community. So let's go ahead and welcome in Mason Pace.
Yo, what's happening? Thanks for having me.
Hi, Mason. Thank you for being here.
Thank you very much for having me. This is super cool.
So before we get started, I heard it was your birthday. I have to say happy birthday to you.
Thank you very, very much.
And do you mind if I ask how old you are today?
I am 20 years old today. 20
years old. You are a very accomplished young man for 20 years old. But what a big day for you. On your birthday, new song. I mean, you got a lot to celebrate today.
I wouldn't rather be doing anything else than releasing a new music, new merch line, a new website, a new music video all at the same time. So
we're going to talk about all that, but I'm guessing you started performing and playing at a young age. When did that all start for you, and how did you realize what you wanted to do?
Well, I was in that phase of every kid's life where the parents are like, here's a kid, he needs to do something in his life. He needs a hobby, something to not bug me with. That was my parents with me, and they put me through like soccer, baseball. One thing that people don't know about me is I did karate for many years. I got my black belt really early on.
Oh, wow.
It was music that really rang with me, and it was found that I had perfect pitch. I was around age 7 when.
So for those listening, tell us exactly what perfect pitch means, because it's not very common.
Perfect pitch is present in about, I think, 5 to 10% of the population. And what it gives people the ability to do is to hear a note and instantly know what it is. And not only on an instrument, I can do that. I can hear the lawnmower going outside, and I can tell you what note it's humming at.
Wow.
So it's basically known, if someone has perfect pitch, their calling is music. And
yes. So when did you start playing guitar?
I was 7 years old. Piano was my first instrument at 4, but my most proficient instrument is guitar, and I started at 7. And then I started singing comfortably on stage at around 10. And then I started my band and started performing all around this area when I was 13 years old. 13
years old. So how did you get your start at 13 playing around?
It's hard, I was taking lessons at School of Rock, so I knew several people from School of Rock. And I was also part of the Inspire and Develop Artist program that sort of coached me into performing, into writing, into recording in a big boy studio. And that was where I met my first producer ever, which was Mark Hudson, who was a really great mentor to me.
I'm sure. So tell me who some of your early influences in music are.
The earliest, right behind this computer, is a giant mural of Steven Tyler. I love Aerosmith to death. My first concert ever was Robert Plant in the Band of Joy. That was 2009, 2010. I saw him, Ozzy Osbourne, Freddie Mercury, Randy Rhoads, Tom Morello. And then my favorite band ever is Primus and Les Claypool. I think he's a genius.
Genius. So it's interesting you should say that, because I'll let you know that my favorite band of all time is Aerosmith. I've always been a huge Steven Tyler fan. Love those guys, have met them and interviewed them.
Killer.
Yeah. But it's interesting you mentioned Ozzy, because when I was watching your video and I was I said you have a very unique sound, and you do. And I was trying to say, well, who does he remind me of? And I really couldn't pinpoint, but in my mind, I thought, at least in the new music video, to me, was very Ozzy-esque.
Thank you. That's an amazing compliment. You don't even know.
I'm glad, because that's the first person who came to my mind, and I'm like, he's like a whole new generation of Ozzy.
And the thing with Ozzy is, like, I know he probably, like, compared to Freddie Mercury and like the people who are super technical, he's probably not the best technical singer in the world, but his voice is just so unique, and like you can instantly find him, and his style is just unbelievable. So that's what I love Ozzy for, and it's definitely true. I channel Ozzy and his craziness through.
I could definitely tell that. I could tell that. So I know that you had the opportunity to play at the Parkland benefit. That was after the Stoneman Douglas tragedy a few years back. So how did you get involved with that benefit?
So, believe it or not, I ran that benefit. That was
You did.
I put that on. I made the lineup, booked the venue, and of course, I put yours truly as the last band in the lineup. But I put together the best artists I knew in South Florida a month after that shooting happened, and we raised $6,000 in ticket sales that night, playing songs that people loved. I played "Come Together" to bring people together, because that's what people needed then, was to just really heal each other and just be there for each other in a time like that. So.
I got the chills even with you just telling that little bit of the story, because, for our community, maybe the worst event tragedy ever. I'll never forget that day. I was at the radio station, I was working, and, we won't relive that day, but for you to go ahead and do that for your community, I know you're involved in a lot of other philanthropic work as well. One of the other things I read is that you got to perform at 80s Rock Fest with Joan Jett and so many other performers that day. So how did you get on that bill, and what was that like for you performing with some of the best rockers in our industry?
Believe it or not, I got on that bill. By the way, the bill includes Joan Jett, Cheap Trick, Sebastian Bach, Dokken, Ace Frehley, Tom Kiefer, Vince Neil. And I was able to get on that bill through a Battle of the Bands. So I was around 16 years old at the time that they were holding a Battle of the Bands. And there was an adult Battle of the Bands, and then there was a kids Battle of the Bands. Well, what ended up happening somehow was they took me out of the kids Battle of the Bands and put me in the adult Battle of the Bands, and then had me perform against the adults.
Wow.
And through that performance, we were able to get the Saturday spot out of the Saturday Sunday Festival, and we played first before Joan Jett and Cheap Trick that day.
Amazing. I mean, that had to be, that I would assume that had to be one of the big moments in your career so far.
Yes. Yeah, I got to meet Cheap Trick, and I had seen Cheap Trick at the Aerosmith concert when I was like 10 years old. And that concert, when I was 10, was the first time I'd ever heard of Cheap Trick. So ever since then, I love Cheap Trick. Rick Nielsen and Robin Zander were really big influences, and meeting them backstage by their bus at that festival, it gave me, first of all, they were unbelievably kind people, and secondly, I just got to learn a lot from them. So
they're great guys too. I can tell you that they're one of my favorites too. I've been a fan since the early days of Cheap Trick, and other than Aerosmith, I think I have seen Cheap Trick more than any other rock band.
They're everywhere. They're everywhere. I love them.
We're on the same wavelength for sure. You were named a Gibson guitarist endorsed by the guitar maker. Now, again, you're only 20 years old. How does that happen so early on in your career?
I'm just really grateful for the people that I meet along the way. Just because I'm out performing as much as I can, being seen as much as I can, I'm able to meet really, really good people and cool people who want to help out the younger generation of rock artists and rock bands. So just through a few friends of mine that I've made over the years, the connection was made to Gibson, and I was asked by Gibson to showcase their G45 acoustic guitar at the Summer NAMM in Nashville. And
that is just unbelievable.
Not only was it a good guitar, but like I heard that they wanted me to do that, and I'm like, what? Like out of any brand, Gibsons are the brand that I use the absolute most. Behind me right here, this way. This right here is my baby. This is my Les Paul Studio that I've been using since I was 12 years old. There are photos of me wearing a little fedora with short hair with this giant guitar, and it's this baby right here. And ever since I became the only guitar player in my band for 2 to 3 years, this was the only guitar that would not only pack a punch and sound really good, but it'll just fill up the room by itself. And that's why I love Gibsons, and that's why I'm proud.
And you have one heck of a collection.
Gibson around my neck.
Yeah, you have one heck of a collection there. So you mentioned your band, and that is the Mason Pace Band. And we have a picture here that we're putting up. Your band looks great. Tell us a little bit about where that particular picture was shot.
This was shot while we were filming our music video for our new single, Reborn. That's the song that just released today. This was shot at the ancient Spanish monastery in North Miami. And I got to give kudos to them. They were super, super kind and cordial with us, even though we were super duper loud in the middle of the courtyard. But what's really cool about this monastery is it's a Spanish monastery built by Spaniards, I believe, in like the Massachusetts area. And it was completely deconstructed, shipped to North Miami, and rebuilt again. And the whole place is just beautiful, and a lot of it is shown in the new music video that I just put out today.
Yeah, so let's go to that. The song is called Reborn, and we're going to put a link to the video on the page on our website so people could check out the whole video. But tell us about Reborn. What is it about, and did you write that during the pandemic?
Reborn was actually written when I was a senior in high school.
Oh my.
And I was in my Gothic literature class, and there's a big final project at the end of the class, and my teacher literally said, you can do anything you want, you just need to prove to me that you learned the premises of Gothic literature. So I asked him, I'm like, can I write a song? And he's like, yeah, you can write a song. So the first demo of Reborn, I turned in for a grade when I was a senior in high school.
And did you ace it?
I know that the song is good because I got a 96.
I was going to say, the song is awesome, and I can't wait for our listeners to hear it. As a matter of fact, I know you're going to sit down and play a little snippet for us right now. Yeah. Are you going to do a little bit of acoustic Reborn, or are you going to do something else?
Yeah, I'll play a little bit of Reborn. I'd love to. It starts with this riff right here. Have I heard of you before? Our generation is reborn. Time again, a story morning gets cold, clock delayed, it turns back time. Born again, thunder rolls throughout the night. Born again, eerie house perched in the wind. Born again, feel the presence of your sin. Born again.
Love it. Yeah. That's awesome. You are so good, and I got to tell you, I think you're going to go far. I really do, because
I really appreciate that. Thank you so much.
you're just such an inspiration. I want to let people know about the EP. What is the name of that, and when is that coming out?
The EP that Reborn is on is called King of Hearts. I spent quarantine recording that whole EP in LA. That will be coming out on all platforms. There'll be more music videos coming out on August 6th. So August 6th is the release date for the King of Hearts EP. And then directly a week after that, I'm having my EP release show at Crazy Uncle Mike's in Boca Raton. And that's on
August 13th.
That's August 13th. And that'll be fully produced, full band, and that'll be a really, really good one. We'll
Can
also
we get an invite? Can we get an invite to come out and see you that night?
Of course, yeah. You guys can stop on by and rock out.
We definitely will. I know I will anyway. So I want to let everyone know about your website, which is masonpacemusic.com. And people could check out everything Mason Pace right there. You also have a new line of merchandise. Tell us about that real quick.
Yeah, so along with the release of the song today, the release of the music video today, I revised my entire website by myself. And thanks to this music career, I've picked up a lot of skills, including website design. So all the videos are featured there. Our new song is featured there. Our pictures are there. And we just released our newest line of merchandise featuring our brand new logo. That's our logo that we released on May 20th, which was our sneak peek show of sorts.
I love that.
This is what the album cover looks like. That's on the back of the shirt. And this is
awesome.
A Bella Canvas tri-blend shirt, unbelievably comfortable. They're available on Mason Pace Music for $15. Bella Canvas shirts, blank by themselves for retail, go for $30. So
right.
This is an amazing offer. I've got hoodies, I've got hats, coolies, you know, those beer koozies.
Sure.
Pins, M&Ms, lots of really, really cool stuff.
Mason, you are wise and talented beyond your years. It's really my pleasure to meet you today.
Say that. Thank you.
It really is. We can't wait to see you in person. The new song is called Reborn. Again, we'll put that up on our website. You could go to masonpacemusic.com and see some more of Mason's work and his music and all the merchandise. And again, the EP release party, Crazy Uncle Mike's. We'll talk about that again before August gets here. Hopefully we'll get a chance to talk to you before that, before the EP comes out.
For sure.
In the meantime, keep us updated if you have any shows, because we'd love to pass that info along. And I wish you all the best luck with that new song. People are going to like it. I encourage everyone to click on the link and watch the video.
Thank you so much, Jodi, for having me. I really, really appreciate it. And
have a very happy birthday. We'll talk to you soon, Mason.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Have a good one.
You too.